What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery, and I got a good discussion. Ready? Hold on. I gotta let you know this is real. Tupac or Biggie? Who was better? Now, when I say who was better, I'm comparing certain things. I would say who was better as in who had the bigger impact. Because if you want to talk about who was better in terms of longevity, that'd be Tupac over Biggie. Biggie only had 2 albums. Tupac had a longer career. He had more music out. So I won't compare their catalog, because one is obviously longer than the other, and Tupac did more things outside of rap than Biggie. So let's take that off the table. Let's take impact. Bigger impact. Who had the bigger impact? Tupac or Biggie? And we can take into account their abilities as rappers. Let's put that on there. We won't talk about their body of work, but we'll talk about their skill set. Okay? Let's see. Now, this is actually tougher to me than the Jay-Z and Nas discussion that I did a while ago. Because even though their styles are very different, their styles are extremely different, and their content is different, the impact, though, even though Biggie Smalls had 2 albums, for some reason, I think people put him in that top upper echelon category because of his potential. People seen what he could do while he was around. Okay, in a short amount of time he was alive in his career, his potential, I would dare say, could rival, or would have rivaled, or even surpassed many artists. Because you gotta think about, in the time that he was making music, in the time he was alive, who was he going up against? He was his contemporaries. I won't say going up against, but his contemporaries. His contemporaries were Tupac, Jay-Z. You know, he wasn't quite well known, but Jay-Z was around too. The Fugees. You had R&B singers. Mariah Carey was around. You had Lauryn Hill and her solo. You had a whole bunch of names. A bunch of people from different genres making music. You had Whitney Houston. You had Michael Jackson in some sense. These were people that, even though they were doing their thing, here comes Biggie Smalls, and in 2 albums was he put his name up there, where they're like, man, like this dude's gonna be that dude. In 2 albums, we could see this dude is gonna be that guy. He's gonna be that guy. And I think because of the potential that we saw, that when he died, it was, man, what if? Like, that big what if question. Like, man, we seen what he can do in this with this amount of time. What if? It's the equivalent to, what if Michael Jordan never retired? Everybody speculates on the fact that if Michael Jordan had not retired, the Bulls could have possibly won 8 championships in a row. Because once Jordan started winning, he never stopped. Only way he stopped is when he left. And then other teams got a chance to win championships. But when Jordan came back, he went right back to winning. But the question was always, had he not retired, Jordan could have possibly had 8 championships in a row. That's the same thing with Big. It's the same thing with Big. Had Big not been killed, who knows what would have happened. His stock was on the rise. Then it was taken. That's different from Tupac. Tupac died at his height. He had put out so much work, been on movies and TV shows and all that. I remember being on In Living Color and all that. You know, he was at his peak when he was taken away. Biggie was on the rise when he was taken away. So he had one person at his peak and one person at his peak and one person on the rise. Both were taken out. So we seen Tupac's potential, and we could have seen greater. With Big, we all saw the potential. We knew, like, this dude is he's lyrical. His delivery. He's funny. Biggie is one of the funniest rappers I've ever heard in my life. Like, he is funny. His stories come from a genuine place. He tells the craziest stories. Like one of my favorite storytelling raps is, you know, I forgot the name of the joint. Hold on. The Warning. The Warning, like, in terms of, like, telling the actual story, like, from beginning to middle to end, and the plot, and The Warning is one of the best stories put in rap. You know, who is this paging me at 5:46 in the morning? Like, when he says that, the way he starts it off and the way he says it, I can imagine myself being woken up at 5:46 in the morning and being pissed off, because you know when somebody calls you early in the morning and you still sleeping, hello, like, and then you get some bad news and you all up and you start spazzing out, and because somebody told you bad news and you mad about something, you spazzing out saying what you gonna do. I've been in those moments, but the way he puts it into words is crazy. And you have Tupac, where his lyrical ability, he's never been like, doing multisyllabic words and intricate complex rhyme designs and all that. Wasn't him. His lyrical style was simple, plain, straight to the point. Whether it be Dear Mama or Brenda's Got a Baby or I Get Around or How You Want It, it was very cut and dry to the point. There wasn't a whole lot of double entendres and hidden metaphors and extra syllable words. There wasn't a whole lot of that. His lyrics cut straight to the point. Biggie played with words more. He would be what we call a wordsmith. Plays with words. He juggles multisyllabic words. Rhyme this word with this word over here, and just, all that. Biggie juggled words. Pac threw words at you, just boom, boom. Brenda's Got a Baby. And then the message behind it. They both were excellent storytellers. Two of my favorite storytellers, Tupac and Big. But in terms of impact, I think that debate always goes on because of when they passed. And the time in which they passed. Like I said, to me, Tupac passed at his height. Biggie passed on his way to the top. And somehow the apex and the potential met each other in the infamous battle or beef, whatever you want to call it. You know, Hit 'Em Up is, if anybody don't know that song, man, Hit 'Em Up was jab after jab after jab, and it wasn't subliminal. Tupac did not mince words. He had no problem saying straight out who he did not like. You know, but the impact, those two will always be tied together because of the what if factor. That what if question will always be with those two, more so than any rapper probably ever. Those two get the biggest what ifs. What if Tupac never died at his height? What if Biggie had a chance to see his potential? What if Biggie had a chance to see his apex? What would have happened? What would the game be like now? What if Biggie and Tupac had a chance to see the social media era? Remember, they died before there was a social media era. They died before there was a Facebook and a Twitter and a Snapchat and an Instagram. So what would have happened if those two had stayed around to see the social media era? What impact would they have now? You see the impact they got. The impact they have now is already crazy. Imagine them being alive during the social media era. Imagine the new music that will come out. Cause we still got songs from Tupac that new stuff that ain't nobody ever heard before. Cause he recorded so much stuff. He recorded constantly. He was a consummate workaholic. Thousands upon thousands of songs, unreleased songs. Tupac was like the Prince of rap. A whole bunch of unreleased music that no one ever heard before, that he got locked up in the vault, that people would give their right arm and their left nut to get a hold of his hidden catalog, like they do Prince now. People are going out of their mind to get the unreleased work of Prince. There's the same thing with Tupac. The unreleased work of Tupac is probably worth billions right now. And we don't know how much Biggie recorded. We don't know how much he recorded. He only recorded 2 albums. I think 3 that we know of. They don't tell me how many songs he recorded. They haven't been put together in an album. So that whole what if, like what else don't we know? What else don't we have from them? What if? What if adds more to their impact? I think who has a bigger impact, I think it's actually a tie, but for 2 different reasons. The impact is the same, but for 2 different reasons. One, because one died at the apex and the other died on the come up. I think because of that, their impact is neck and neck. Is neck and neck. And because of that, that conversation will always happen of who's better. Now, if you want to say who's the better rapper, who's the better, lyricist, that's fine. But in terms of impact, I think that the impact of both is actually even. There is no clear, this person had a bigger impact. Nah, I think those two will forever be tied together based off the potential impact. The potential of their careers is what will tie them at even. I don't think either one will ever be above the other based off of the potential. And that is a conversation that will always be had. So that's my little 2 cents on this. My little thoughts on the discussion on the subject matter. Let me know what you comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Alright? Peace.